Hey guys, I'm Sarah and I'm a happy expat. So I've lived in the States for about 17 years, and when I first moved here there was a period where I couldn't work, and a lot of people go through that, and depending on what country you go to, it may be a couple weeks, it could be a couple months. You may be the spouse of somebody on a work visa and you may never be able to work. And there's always a lot of discussions on forums and message boards about what to do in that time. And there's some really good things, and there's some really, there's some suggestions that I think are just dumb as. One of them, years ago, I saw someone said they couldn't work for like 3 months and they were asking what to do in that time. And someone suggested, have a baby. And I was like, that's gotta be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. And here's why. If you are already together, you've been together for years, say you've lived in Australia with your American spouse and now you're transitioning to the US, and you know you want to have kids anyway, then sure, go ahead, have a baby, do your thing. But if you're a new spouse, like you met someone on the internet, you came over and you're brand new as a couple, having a baby because you're bored is not an intelligent decision. Namely because it's already stressful enough. Moving, adapting to a new country, and putting a tiny little human into the mix is not going to help. There's also the factor of you don't know if your relationship's going to work out. So say you did meet someone, you came over, you have a baby, it doesn't work out, now you can't just leave. I mean, if you don't have a kid, you know, a relationship breaking down sucks, but at least you can go home. But if you've had a kid, now you're dealing with international custody disputes, which is going to be a nightmare. And I've heard of Australians that have been stuck in the US for like 10 years because they had a baby, it didn't work out, but they can't leave because the husband won't let them take the kid home with them. So I would say if someone tells you have a baby because you're bored, don't do it. So now that I've told you what I think is a really stupid idea, I also once read someone on a forum who had what I thought was like the best idea I've ever heard. And she stated that she was in New York and at first she was really bored, and then she looked around and she realized that this was a gift, that all these people in life are always like, if I had 3 months off, if I had 6 months, if I had time to myself, what would I do? And she said this is that forced sabbatical. This is that thing that you finally are having that 3 months or that 6 months. So think about if you've ever said, you know, if I had 3 months that I could go and learn to surf, or I would go hiking, or I would learn to play tennis, or to sew, whatever it is that you have always wanted to do, but you've never had that time to do, this is your opportunity. This is your prime gift to go out and learn something new, to do something. Go do charity for 3 months, or you know, if you've always wanted to learn to scuba dive or be a dive master. And I get that sometimes we don't have the money because immigration is expensive, you've only got one partner working, but there are things that you can do. Maybe you're slightly overweight and this is your chance to walk for 3 months and get back into shape. And the added bonus if you're walking is you actually discover your city and you might go out and meet people. So think of anything you've ever said. Maybe you can fish for 3 months, and then, you know, you've also got food for the table. Anything that you've always said, I wish I had time to do. Maybe if your family and friends at home miss you, start a blog. You know, put all your effort into that. Take photography lessons. Build up your Instagram. Do something. There's so many things you could do when you are forced to take time. Don't think of it as a negative. Turn it into a positive. Think of all of those things and take it and grab it and run with it. And maybe you'll find that at the end of that 3 months that all those things you thought you wanted to do when you first moved over here, you've actually found a new passion and something you're good at. And even if you do have a career, doesn't mean that you have to take the 3 months off. You can still go to networking meetings, you can still build community, you can still go and meet all of those people that you're going to need to know when you get that job. So I know this is a little long-winded, but I encourage you, don't think of that downtime, that forced sabbatical, or that time when you can't work. Don't take it as a negative. Turn it around, use it as a positive, or just take a break. maybe you've always just wanted to take 3 months off. Just enjoy it. Bye, guys.